Hello! Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this Bluebell blouse. It's a gorgeous frilly crop top with long ruffled sleeves with elastic at the cuffs. There is a low square neckline, gathered front, sides and back to give a trapeze-like shape. In fact, the shape was inspired by vintage clown and mime outfits. And this one is also a slightly longer version of the original. This is how the original looked like, so it is slightly more shorter. I'm going to show you how to lengthen it, so let's crack on. To lengthen the blouse, you will first need the tea towel piece. Determine how much you want to increase the length. I'm going to go for 7 centimeters. Draw in added length on that piece of paper from the end, like I'm doing here. Then place the pattern piece on that line and tape it. This will be your new front tea towel pattern piece. Here is a rough guide as to how the pattern pieces will look together. Next, we need to work on the side pattern piece. So we're going to do exactly the same to this pattern piece. We're going to draw in a new line, which I'm going to do 7 centimeters, then tape the pattern piece on top. Then I'm going to follow this diagonal line to finish this pattern piece. Then the last thing we need to do is readjust the length of the front side ruffle and the back ruffle. These don't have patterns, but all the measurements are in the instructions. We will be adjusting the width fabric pieces. So first you want to draw in that 1 centimeter seam allowance directly onto your pattern piece. Line it up with the side pattern piece like I'm doing here, and then simply take the new measurement from that seam line to the very end of that new pattern piece. Make sure you jot it down somewhere so that when you go to cut out your new pattern pieces, it will prompt you to add that new length. The back ruffle is going to be the exact same width, therefore make sure to jot that down somewhere as well. It'll be very annoying when you go to sew the garment and you've got a much shorter ruffle at the back. And that's all you need to do. How easy was that? Let's crack on with what pattern pieces you need. Right, it is time to sew. Before starting, make sure that you have transferred all notches from your pattern pieces onto your fabric. With right sides together, sew the shoulder seams of the front top and back bodice pieces. Repeat this step for the front top bodice and back bodice lining. Press all seams open or towards the back, and there's no need to finish the seams as they're going to be tucked into the garment. With right sides together, pin the bodice lining to the bodice main fabric around the neckline only. Make sure to align them along the edge with the shoulder seams matching. I usually use the shoulder seams as my starting point when clipping. Then starting at one point, stitch around the entire neckline. Carefully cut notches into the seam allowance around the curved neckline. This will help the seam sit flat and stay tucked into the garment. Then you want to press the seam allowance towards the lining and stitch about 2 millimeters away from the edge of the seam on the lining side. You want to make sure that you catch the seam allowance underneath. Give that another good press. Take your front side bodice piece and place it right sides down on top of the back bodice piece. Then stitch the side seam and repeat for the other side seam and finish both of these seams. Press the seams towards the back bodice. With right sides together, pin and sew one of the shorter edges of the front side ruffle to the shorter edge of the back ruffle piece. Make sure the back ruffle is in the middle with your 2 front side ruffles on either end of that back ruffle. Then, using a long loose machine running stitch, sew 2 parallel lines of stitches about 5mm from the edge of your ruffle piece. I am going to cheat a little and use my gathering foot, mainly because I do a lot of gathering and it's so quick and easy to do. I mean, look at that. If you are hand gathering, then slowly pull the thread ends and start to evenly distribute the gathers along the edge. Lay the gathered ruffle piece on top of the back bodice right sides together. Start to pin the gathered edge to the bottom of the bodice piece and make sure to align the side seam of the bodice to the side seam of the front side ruffle seam. That feels like a lot of words, so please just watch what I'm doing here. Stitch in place using your regular stitch length, then finish the seam and gently press the seam towards the bodice. And you only want to press the seam allowance so that the gathers aren't flattened, because we want to make a lovely ruffled garment. Place the front side pieces along the edges of the tea towel. Make sure that the design is facing the right way up, and you want to do that right sides together like I am doing here. To help match the notches that are on the tea towel and the side pieces, then pin and sew the side seams. Then before we press, we are going to attach the front to the back. So to do that, you're going to place the longer side of the front side piece along the side bodice and ruffle right sides together, again like I am doing here. Match the notches, pin and sew the side seams, making sure any gathers are not caught in the seam. Then finish the seams, then press the tea towel and the seam towards the sides of the garment. So push it all out. Then turn the garment so the insides are out. And then with right sides together, place the bottom edge of the front top bodices along the edge onto the front of the blouse, the tea towel front, like I'm doing here. There are notches to help you match this, but also you can start at the armhole and begin to match and pin along the edge. Then before you go ahead and sew, you're going to get the lining and place it right sides along this edge. The curve of the armhole will match the curve of the lining, and we are going to sandwich in that bodice. Readjust the pins and then sew through all the layers with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. Press the seam towards the lining. Then what I want you to do is turn the raw edge of the lining fabric to the wrong side by 1 centimetre and press. We're going to do another bit of stay stitching. So to do that, we're going to stitch 2mm away from the edge of the seam on the lining side. Make sure to catch the seam allowance underneath like I am doing here. Then turn the lining piece so it conceals all raw edges. Pin and sew close to that folded edge. This is going to create the channel for the elastic at the front of the blouse. Begin to feed the elastic through the channel using a safety pin to help you. I want you to push it through enough so that the other side of the elastic is also through the channel. As soon as it goes into the channel, I want you to feel around for the end of the elastic. We are going to secure the elastic in the channel by top stitching through all layers, starting at the point where the front top and front side bodice meet. As you can see here, the elastic is poking out by about 1.5 centimetres. You don't want the elastic too close to the stitching or else it might run the risk of pinging and getting lost in the channel. And if you want, use matching colour thread at the front to hide the stitching. Once secured, pull the remaining elastic through, removing the safety pin, and repeat the same process by securing the other end of the elastic. But just before you sew, pin in place and try the blouse on to ensure the elastic isn't too loose or too tight. Keep readjusting to make sure it feels comfortable for you, and then you can secure the elastic. Working on the sleeves, on the sleeve pattern, measure the distance from the marked line to the bottom of the sleeve. Mine measures about 12 centimeters. Then, starting at one side of the sleeve, pin the bias tape on the wrong side of the fabric using that marked line measurement. Move along the bottom of the sleeve, measuring and pinning in place. Then sew as close as possible to the two folded edges, creating an elastic channel. It's not too obvious here, but I've sewn really close to those folded edges. On your sleeve pattern, there is actually a recommended elastic measurement for the cuffs. So you'll need to cut two pieces that measure that length, and then you're going to feed the elastic through the channel using a safety pin to help you. But again, I'm going to be a little cheeky and use this loop tool. It's really good. I just stick it in the channel, go all the way to the end, and then clip the elastic and pull it through. It's super quick and super easy. And before moving on, we're going to secure both ends of the elastic to the ends of the sleeve with a pin. If you would prefer to tack it in place, you can do. And obviously you want to repeat this step for the other sleeve. Pin and sew the sleeve right sides together and repeat for the other sleeve. Gather the sleeve head between the notches. There's quite a few notches on the sleeve, but it's between the 3 notches at the top of the sleeve. With the blouse wrong sides out, pin the raw edges of the sleeve to the sleeve opening, matching the underarm seam to the side seam of the blouse. It is recommended that you match the notches of the sleeve and armhole before evenly gathering the head of the sleeve. I usually match the middle notch to the shoulder seam before doing any gathering. So with the 1 centimeter seam allowance, finish and press towards the sleeve. And if there are any visible gathering stitches, go ahead and remove them. We are so nearly there. To hem the sleeves, turn the fabric to the wrong side by 1 centimeter and press. Then fold the fabric again by 1 centimeter, press and pin into place. Stitch as close and as evenly to the fabric folded edge as possible for a lovely, neat finish. Finally, to hem the blouse, turn the fabric to the wrong side by 1 centimeter and press, then fold the fabric again by 1.5 centimeters, press and pin into place. I sometimes use a hem gauge for a lovely, neat finish. And then finally, give your blouse one final press, and guess what? You have created the coolest blouse ever. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to purchase the pattern, you can do so on my website or on Etsy. If you do share any photos, please do tag me and put the hashtag Bluebell Blouse. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see what you make. Bye!